The midday sun beat down on Gila's back, turning the desert sand into a shimmering furnace. He shuffled through the parched earth, his clawed feet kicking up puffs of dust. But Gila wasn't hunting today. The usual thrill of the chase was a distant memory, replaced by a dull ache that gnawed at him from the inside, a stench worse than the rotting carcass of a forgotten lizard. It was guilt, a foul miasma that clung to him like the venom of a surprised rattlesnake. Just 3 days ago, driven by the primal hunger that pulsed within him, Gila had struck. A young javelina, clumsy and naive, had strayed too close. The kill had been swift, the fangs sinking home with practiced ease. Yet the image of the lifeless creature, its mottled black and white fur still warm, haunted him. He remembered the mother's frantic snorts echoing through the cacti, a sound that now echoed in the emptiness of his own gut. Never before had Gila felt this way. Was it a sign of weakness? Was he, a seasoned hunter at the peak of his reptilian prowess, succumbing to some strange, un-Gila-like sentimentality? He scoffed at the thought. Yet the guilt remained, a leaden weight dragging him down. He reached the familiar base of a towering saguaro cactus, its spindly arms reaching for the sky like skeletal fingers clawing at the heavens. Gila usually reveled in the solitude these giants offered, a quiet communion between predator and the harsh beauty of the desert. Today, however, the silence only amplified the disquiet within him. The wind whispered secrets through the needles, but none offered solace for the turmoil raging inside. A sudden rustle in the nearby creosote bush startled him. A skinny coyote pup, barely a year old, emerged, its oversized paws tangled in the spiny undergrowth. Its eyes, wide and curious, met Gila's unblinking stare. Easy prey. A single, precise strike would silence the gnawing guilt, would put him back in the natural order of things. But the pup, oblivious to the danger, simply yipped playfully, the sound a bright spark in the oppressive desert air. It freed itself from the bush with a clumsy hop and scampered away, a wisp of brown fur disappearing into the shimmering haze. Gila watched it go, a strange sense of peace washing over him. He wouldn't succumb to the darkness. He wouldn't let the guilt fester and turn him into a creature he wasn't. There had to be a way to assuage this burden, a way to honor the life he'd taken, a way to cleanse himself of the stench that clung to him. As the day bled into dusk, painting the sky in fiery hues of orange and purple, Gila stumbled upon an ancient message etched onto a smooth rock face nestled at the base of a weathered mesa. The petroglyph, weathered and worn by countless suns and sandstorms, depicted a scene unlike any he'd ever seen. It wasn't a scene of the hunt, not a depiction of a Gila monster striking with deadly accuracy. This was different. The carving showed a Gila monster, strikingly similar to himself, standing on its hind legs, its forearms extended. In its claws, it held aloft a plump, juicy, prickly pear fruit, its spines radiating outwards like a miniature sun. Facing the Gila monster, perched on a nearby rock, was a raven, its sleek black feathers catching the light. The raven, in turn, seemed to be dropping something at the Gila monster's feet, an object that shimmered faintly in the fading light. Intrigued, Gila traced the carving with his rough tongue, the texture of the rock rough against his leathery skin. It was a story etched in stone, a prophecy whispered through the ages. Did it hold the answer to his quest? Was this the path to redemption? He didn't understand the symbols, the meaning of the exchange between the creatures. Yet a sliver of hope, fragile as a desert wildflower, flickered within him. Maybe there was a way to make amends. Fueled by the newfound flicker of hope ignited by the petroglyph, Gila set out on a journey unlike any he'd undertaken before. The carving offered no clear direction, no map etched in stone leading him to his salvation. Yet a strange intuition, a pull he couldn't explain, tugged at him, urging him westward. The familiar desert landscape stretched before him, a vast canvas painted in shades of ochre, crimson, and the relentless blue of the sky. Days turned into weeks, the relentless sun a constant reminder of the harshness of his chosen path. He faced the usual desert perils, the scorching heat that threatened to bake him alive, the ever-present thirst that gnawed at his throat, and the watchful eyes of unseen predators. One particularly brutal afternoon, Gila found himself sprawled under the meager shade of a lone mesquite tree, its twisted branches offering a pitiful shield from the merciless sun. His throat was parched, his tongue thick and swollen. His body, usually a testament to desert resilience, ached with every movement. He was on the verge of giving in, of succumbing to the harsh embrace of the desert, when a soft voice, carried by the hot wind whispering through the parched earth, brushed against his ears. "Seek the wisdom keeper," it murmured, the words barely audible over the sighing of the wind. Gila snapped his head up, his reptilian body jolted awake by the unexpected sound. He scanned the desolate landscape, searching for the source of the voice. But there was nothing, just the endless expanse of sand dunes shimmering in the heat haze, and the relentless blue sky mocking his thirst. Was it a hallucination? A trick of the desert sun playing havoc with his dehydrated mind? Or something more? The name Wisdom Keeper resonated within him. It felt like a key, a missing piece of the puzzle etched onto the rock face. He pushed himself up, a newfound determination coursing through his weary scales. He wouldn't let thirst or doubt deter him. He would find this wisdom keeper, whoever or whatever it was. As days bled into nights, the whispers grew stronger, carried by the wind like a secret shared between the desert and its creatures. They seemed to guide him through treacherous canyons, their walls closing in like the jaws of a monstrous beast. They led him across vast, silent plains where the only sound was the rasp of his own breath. He encountered other denizens of the desert, a wise old badger with fur as white as bleached bone, a skittish desert cottontail with a twitching nose forever sniffing the air. He questioned them, desperate for any scrap of information about the Wisdom Keeper, but they all shook their heads, their eyes filled with confusion. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the whispers led him to a hidden oasis, nestled amidst towering red rock formations that seemed to rise from the earth like the clawed fingers of a forgotten god. Lush greenery fringed a crystal-clear pool of water, its surface reflecting the azure sky like a shattered mirror. The air vibrated with the melodic chirping of unseen birds, a symphony of life in stark contrast to the harsh silence of the surrounding desert. It was a haven, a secret paradise hidden from the unforgiving sun. Gila cautiously approached the oasis, his senses on high alert. The whispers ceased, replaced by an all-encompassing silence that seemed to press against his eardrums. He stepped onto the soft, damp earth, his claws leaving faint imprints in the cool mud. As he dipped his snout into the pool, the water a shock of refreshing coolness against his burning throat. A voice, ancient and wise, echoed from the surrounding rocks. "Gila monster," it boomed, the sound vibrating through the air. "You seek redemption." Gila's heart hammered as the ancient voice boomed from the surrounding rock. It wasn't a creature, but the voice of the desert itself, the Wisdom Keeper. Hope surged through him, a way to erase the guilt. He explained the petroglyph, the offering, the raven's gift. The eagle listened, its gaze penetrating. "The prophecy speaks of a life redeemed," it proclaimed. "The prickly pear is an offering, the raven's gift, a chance to protect instead of take." Intrigue gnawed at Gila. Protect what? The answer came as a chilling legend, a hidden spring guarded by a monstrous scorpion, the source of life for a rare healing flower, the crimson bloom. The scorpion, fueled by greed, sought to control the water. "Retrieve a single petal," the voice boomed, "and deliver it to a creature in need. This will be your redemption." The task was daunting, a delve into the desert's heart, but the chance to atone was too precious. He met the eagle's gaze, resolve hardening in his reptilian eyes. "I accept." The whispers, faint at first, grew louder, guiding him towards the cave's entrance. The path ahead was perilous, but Gila, fueled by newfound purpose, stepped onto the scorching sand. The quest for redemption had begun.